Hello and welcome back. So we are looking at the build for satellites at the moment. And up until now, let's just replace these with actual requesters rather than voiding requesters. Okay. So until now we have been playing games with builds and not really thinking too hard about the trains. What I'd like to do now is just have a play with a possible way to do some trains. There's a lot of these builds where we need, say, for example, 3 builds or 4 builds. So there's some builds where we need, for example, 4 separate builds for steel, for example. And how do we get the 4 lots of steel in reliably? That's the question I'm asking. Now, one way to do it is to have 4 totally independent trains, which are going on their own timetables to their own builds. My concern for that is that we'll end up with a situation where all the timings don't work out, where because everything's within a few percent on these builds, I'm worried that we will end up with trains arriving at random times, getting stuck in stackers, and basically we will end up in a situation where builds are backed up because the trains haven't made it through the right stacker in the right order, and resulting in our finely tuned machine getting bits of it out of sync and then not working. So what I'd like to do is think of ways that we could avoid that problem. Now, by trade, I'm a geneticist, and by my other trade, because everybody needs several, I'm a software engineer. Well, let's put that there. I think it's one too far back, but it'll do. I've got no power there. Okay. There we are. And the same problem here. Let's... there. Okay. So what I'd kind of like to do is come up with a sort of biology-inspired solution to this. Now, that's exactly in the wrong place, isn't it? All right, that's fine. Okay, so let's call this rocket fuel. Okay, now watch what I'm doing here. We're going to also name this rocket fuel. Okay. Then we are going to put signals in. Okay, so after there. And we're going to put a signal in there. Okay. So this here is going to be called void. Okay. And what we're going to do is have some voiding chests. Like that. This is going to go to rocket fuel, and until the first carriage is full, which I think is 400. So rocket fuel, I think, stacks in tens. So it's 100 to a row. Okay. Then it's going to go, I think, no, we are going to need a rocket fuel 1 and rocket fuel 2 because I need this to advance. Okay, so this is going to be called rocket fuel 1. This will be called rocket fuel 2. Good. So this will go to rocket, let's add rocket fuel 1. Item count. Rocket fuel is greater than or equal to 400. Great. Then it's going to go to rocket fuel 2 until rocket fuel is greater than or equal to 800. Then it's going to go to void until inventory empty. Copy that, put it in automatic. So off it goes. So that's then, what's this called? Rocket fuel 2, and this is rocket fuel 1. Okay, so go to void. That was annoying. Okay. This has the same schedule. Okay, and what is going on here? This is actually in the wrong place. So let's move this up. Let's not move that up. I want to move the train station. Can we move this with the arrows? Yeah. Okay, so let's move this as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. This doesn't want to move. One, 2, 3. It's called rocket fuel 2. Right, so this goes to rocket fuel 1. And what's the cargo here? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 2, 3, 400. Let's check. Okay. So this then should be going up to 800. And it's filling up the other carriage. Yep, so that's definitely full, isn't it? And then that's unloading. Okay. So this is full. We have a capacity issue here. Right, let's have a look. I want to know stack inserters. Okay, so what 1/3 of a stack inserter. So there shouldn't be an issue with timings here. I think this thing just needs to hopefully this thing just needs to get itself sorted out. We should be taking away the fuel faster than it is being made. So let's see if this empties before. Just for now, I'm going to take away a lot of this. Right, so what's the request set here? Ah, this should be 400, not 5. Okay, and this should also be 400. Okay, so this is up to 300 and something. And this is empty. That's all right. Okay. So the stack inserters can move, I think it's 13 items in one swing. I can't remember the exact number. But rocket fuel stacks in 10s. So the most it can move in a single swing is 10, which is annoying. But it does mean that for low stacking items, there's diminishing returns for using stack inserters. So for example, if you were moving satellites, which stack in 1s, using a stack inserter won't help. All right, so we get this train emptied. And it empties nice and quick. Okay, and then we're in behind this other train. Now this is starting to buffer up. And this will take however long it takes to get its carriage full. But what we're doing here is making sure that we're running these two sites back to back, so at an even speed. So for example, if we were doing the steel builds, where we need 4 steel builds, it would be tempting to fill up 1 carriage per build, and have the 4 builds stacked one behind the other. Then you could take the full load in one go into the main place where the 4 need to be consumed. Anyway, so I thought I would test this out because I've never built this way before. But it does seem to work, and it's certainly preferable over having trains independently going to the different sites, and then doing their thing, and then all coming back at random times with random distances to travel. So I think this is what I'm going to do for pipeline production. I'm going to stack the builds side by side to reuse beacons. I'm going to have the trains go down, filling up carriages on the way, and then dumping their material into the consuming build. It doesn't reduce the number of trains, but it does drastically reduce the amount of calculation involved and the orders in which things can run. So yeah, that's my plan. All right, well, a short one there because first time I tried it, it worked. Let's just double check the production of rocket. Yeah, that's still up at 500 and odd. There's been no dent, so that the trains aren't throwing out the production out of whack. I think we're all good. Cool. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks very much for watching. I'm very pleased that this worked. It's a design pattern we will be using throughout the entire Megabase from now on. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.